And then, because this is going to be quite new to some people and sitting still is sometimes very uncomfortable for people, we're going to move a little bit. But first, we're going to organize ourselves so that we move in a free manner. Say hello again to your feet, the left foot, the right foot. Have a little wiggle of the toes if it helps. Really know where they are, because those 2 feet on the ground are acting like 2 legs of a tripod, and the other tripod is your bum and the chair. So you've got this very secure and supportive base. Just know again where that is. I'd then like you to take a hand and place it at the front of your pelvis. It's optional where you take, if you want to take the back of your hand and put it on the back of your pelvis, totally up to your comfort. But what we're going to do is we're just going to let ourselves, I'm just going to swing sideways, everyone, don't do this as well. So we're just going to let that pelvis come with us as we rock a tiny bit forwards and a tiny bit backwards. And what you'll notice is that you're rocking on those sit bones. And this time, as you're rocking forwards and backwards, I'd like you to glance down towards your feet or your knees, or just the space in front of you down on the floor. And you'll glance back up to eye level as you come up vertical, and glance back down as you look at the floor, as you tilt forwards. Just gently, it's not a big movement here. We're just checking out where we are. Then release your arms and find yourself back on those sit bones. How's that all feeling? How's your jaw? So the trouble with this thinking business is sometimes we can get a little bit overthinky. We can get a bit over keen, trying quite hard. And that means that the jaw will start to get a bit tight. So soften your tongue, let it rest in your mouth. Think of the space between the upper back teeth and the lower back teeth. If you wanted to add on some really helpful thinking for the head, you could say, well, if the head's heavy at the front, there's a sort of forward tilt, not a movement, just an intention. The whole column of your neck, you can think about that going back up behind you. And then you can let the jaw release forwards. Again, you don't open your mouth, you're just giving yourself some directions. Back of the head, back of the neck, back and up, jaw releasing forwards. You're creating space at the top of your spine. Then, to help yourself find your natural internal length, know where your sit bones are, know where the seat of that chair is, the base of the back of the thighs, that nice wide base. And then recognize again the support behind you, or the parts of you in contact with the chair. Not so that you collapse back into them, but so they remind you to ask your back to widen. Don't hang on through your waist. Don't hang on through your belly. You can let that belly soften, because something deeper inside of you will take over. It's the cake belly I'm talking about that we're softening, the more external stuff. So we're sitting and we're thinking. We're thinking of a free neck. We're thinking of our internal length, that the crown of the head is seeking its way upwards away from the sit bones, but we're not doing anything. We're not trying, we're not heaving ourselves upwards. We're allowing the chair to support us. We're even allowing the ground to support us. Say hello to those feet again. Be present with them. And if you, as you've probably established, I'm not doing anything very interesting, so your eyes can gently seek their way around your room, noticing, looking, being a little bit interested in things. Keeping lively in the eyes is really useful for unlocking the top of the spine. And we're unlocking the top of the spine because we want to be available for movement at any time. Should we have to suddenly leap off the chair, we'll be ready. Let's not. In your mind, I'd like you again to find your rib cage, your back. I've been speaking of it as your back, but it is, of course, your rib cage. And those ribs attach into the spine, they sweep around you to the front of you, like a cage or a basket wrapping around you, your precious organs, and looking after them. Just in your mind now, know about that rib cage. Get an idea of it. Or if you're a very sensory person, you'll feel the back of it on your cushion or the back of your chair. You'll know where the sides are because your arms are touching it. Be aware of that rib cage and don't hang on to it, don't tighten. See if it can move out sideways and towards the back as you breathe, not because you're doing anything. You're not shoving it, you're not pushing it, you're not heaving a breath. You're asking your back to widen. You're asking the muscles around the waist not to hang on. Soft belly, wide back. Sit bones and backs of thighs resting on the chair. Softening something in the neck so that the head can gently seek upwards. Allowing your shoulder girdle and the tops of your arms to rest on your cylindrical rib cage. How does that feel? Shoulders get a bit busy. It's nice to remind them that they can rest down on your cylindrical rib cage. How does it feel? You might feel that you want to move now. And I would recommend that you go back to this little bit of a rock where you bring your pelvis with you. The whole pelvis comes forwards, you come forwards, your eyes gently look at the floor, and you kind of rock back up again. And if you were going to come out of your chair, if you were going to stand up, for example, this would be a really good way to start. And it's totally up to you if you want to have a go at that. If you've got something in front of you, like me, you'll need to swing round to the side. And this is totally optional, by the way. Don't feel you have to stand up if it's all too much. You'll want your feet that you threw out in front of you, you want to drag them back. They need to be sort of as close to the edge of your chair as possible. And even then, you're just having another little go at this rock. The sit bones are rocking, you're rocking. And eventually, when you've got a bit of momentum going, you go all the way forwards, falling forwards out the chair and straighten your legs. And if it feels like hard work, you probably need to get more forwards. Your head, do sit down and have another play. Your head needs to be well over your knees when you stand up, as if you're trying to headbutt something invisible in front of you. So, yeah, well done everyone for having a little go at that.